Yo, just got back from hitting this bag. Do a little walk to cool off real quick. Yeah. So basically, you know, so the ytbc is a motherfucking trip because, like I said in my last video discussing this shit, this community, though, or the boxing community on YouTube, is just like I said, we got to go down this road again because I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I gotta do a better job of like not taking the internet so serious. I ain't gonna cap. I be on some clown shit when it comes to that because this shit be really irking me how everybody's a liar. And then you got race fans trying to flip it on other people to hide from what they do. Now, I ain't gonna lie, there's some clown shit I should probably ignore because it's all fake, but this shit irritates shit out of me. I'm not gonna lie, and it be causing me to fuck around and do response videos and shit. Cause I don't get that many people to watch when I'm doing it live, but a lot of people watch my playbacks. So I'll do it for that reason. But the shit just annoys the shit out of me, bro. So I'm like, let me talk about this shit again. Go down this fucking road again with these fucking people. So, gotta do this shit again. And like I said, based on my analytics, people really like to listen to the playbacks. So fuck it, we gonna do it. I don't give a fuck about the live. So basically, the ytbc boxing community, people that so-called know boxing, come on YouTube and they talk about boxing. I'm getting real sick and tired of these Mexicans calling me racist and saying this bullshit about me being racist. Because the reason why I'm getting tired of this shit is because I know, like, these people must think I'm stupid, bro. I know what y'all doing. The problem is, I'm calling you guys, I'm the only black motherfucker that's in the ytbc doing boxing content or trying to make boxing content. I'm the only motherfucker that's not scared to challenge these Mexicans when they say they bullshit. These Mexican fans. I'm the only one that's not scared to do that shit. All these other niggas is scared on some coward shit and they want to bootlick these motherfuckers and act like they know everything is right. Overly praising Latino fighters, but then always fixing your fucking lips to say something negative about a black fighter. For some strange reason, that's acceptable to a lot of you niggas. And y'all go for that shit. And so these Mexicans, they like you based off of that. You dig? And that's just keeping it real. I'm the only nigga that ain't scared to oppose that shit. So for doing that, I'm called a racist or I don't like Mexicans. What the fuck do I gotta dislike Mexicans for? They ain't do shit to me for me to dislike them. And we're talking about boxing. And it's been 4 months now since I've been going on homie's panel. Well, he ain't my homie, but since dude's panel. And not one time has anybody debunked anything I said about boxing. But you got these fuck ass lames saying I don't know shit about boxing. Then when you hear them talk about boxing, they don't know shit about boxing. So it's a lot of confusion. You know what I'm saying? And what's irritating me is these Mexicans think they slick, bro. They do that. They're like I said, everybody knows this shit, but a lot of you niggas is scared to say this shit, so I gotta say it for y'all. They're the biggest race fans in the ytbc. Everything is pro-Latino with them. You dig? And if you're not Latino, they're going to find a way to negatively say something about you. Say something about you in a very negative manner when they don't even have to. They don't do that to no other fighters that's not Latino. That's race fan shit. You dig? But yet those same people are criticizing me saying I'm the racist one. But yet this is their behavior. I'm going to be honest with y'all. That shit is annoying the hell out of me. Now, I got to train myself to ignore that shit. Because I ain't gonna cap. This shit is just, it really irritates the shit out of me. I ain't gonna lie. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. Because that's what's going on. You know what I'm saying? And what bothers me, like, you got dude panel. Y'all know what I'm talking about. The nigga that loves Canelo, but he don't love him so much anymore because he lost. So he's been losing subscribers and people been talking shit about him and saying he switched up. And his engagements is going down. His views is going down, all because he spoke the truth about Canelo. Now, check this out. That man built his channel on No disrespect, but we got to keep it real. He built his channel by riding Canelo's dick. He got over 2,500 videos about Canelo, all on Canelo's dick, acting like Canelo's the greatest motherfucker to put on boxing gloves. He got over 2,000 videos doing that shit, right? That man literally built his page off of that. He got over 40,000 subscribers, and he did his thing off of that. You dig? I respect the hustle, but the way he did it is questionable. Now, that attract all the Latinos, because they're the biggest fan base in boxing. You get the Latinos, you can do numbers, right? So he brought them over there, and it's all based on praising Canelo and then finding negative things to say about black fighters. Because that's all the motherfuckers do on that panel. They just talk shit about black fighters. And then they got sucker niggas over there. You know who you are. You niggas over there bootlicking. You're acting like a lame. You're acting like you're slow. You special ed niggas. You're over there. You're saying retarded shit like Canelo got a better jab than Crawford. Crawford's overrated. You're pussyfooting around being critical of Hispanic fighters, but you got no problem saying something negative about black fighters. You dig? Just to appease these motherfuckers, and then they like you. So now you're a fan favorite over there. They got a lot of respect for you. When you don't know shit about boxing, you're just basically, I'm gonna keep it real, you're just basically sucking Mexicans' dick. That's basically what you're doing over there on that panel. And so they like you for that reason. But you really don't know shit about no boxing though. You dig? And then I told y'all, and this is real, there's never an all in everything, so I'm not going to say all the Mexicans, but a lot of the Mexican people that come on these panels and do boxing talk, they do not have nothing to talk about boxing if they cannot criticize black fighters. Let me repeat that. Mexican boxing fans that fuck with the ytbc, 90% of the time, if they cannot come on a panel when it's boxing being discussed, and if they cannot criticize or say something negative about a black fighter, they do not have nothing to talk about. They don't got nothing to talk about. If dude were to do a panel where only boxers being discussed is non-black fighters, nobody would show up. No Mexicans would show up, because Mexicans, they only criticize black fighters. They got no smoke for nobody that's not black. The hottest topic on the street right now when it comes to boxing is Triple G, a Hall of Famer. I'm gonna tell you right now, and a lot of y'all probably know this, but again, a lot of you niggas are scared, so I gotta say it for y'all. If a black fighter had a resume like Triple G, all these Mexicans will be criticizing the shit out of Triple G. But since he's not black, they're gonna be quiet on that issue. They don't got much to say about it. Now, I like Triple G. I thought he was a great fighter, and that shit with Canelo was some great fights, and everything is dope. I like Triple G. So I don't got a problem with him being in the Hall of Fame. I'm not bothered by it. But judging by what I've been hearing from these Mexican boxing fans, I'm going off what I've been hearing. Remember, I've been fucking with the ytbc for 6 months now, right? I'm usually a guy that talks about the black community issues in basketball. I started fucking with boxing for 6 months. Judging by what I've been hearing from Mexican boxing fans, they're real big on resumes and who you fought, right? Triple G has a resume that is light. It is not a resume that stands out. But see, I'm telling y'all, if he was black with that resume, every Mexican boxing fan would be criticizing him. They'll be talking shit about him. They don't want to do him like that because he's not black. That's race fan shit, where you'll only criticize black fans, black fighters, but you got nothing to say about non-black fighters. I've been listening against my judgment. I probably shouldn't have been listening, but I've been listening to these motherfuckers talk the past couple of days when it was announced he might be a first ballot Hall of Famer. And for what I'm hearing, and I shouldn't even be listening to these lames. They don't be talking about nothing, but I want to hear what the temperature was, so I checked it out. Nobody was critical of him, despite his resume being light. Outside of the Canelo fights, Triple G's resume, it's like any other fighter's resume, is good. But these Mexican fans, they make it seem like your resume is the tell-all, end-all. That's how these motherfuckers talk. Tank has a better resume than Triple G, but they hate Tank though. I wonder why. But you don't hate Triple G though, but he has a worse resume than Tank. That's very interesting. You dig? Very interesting. You see what I'm saying? I'm telling you, if Triple G was black, bro, all these Mexican fans would not like him, bro. Keep it real. And what's irritating me is these same people, a lot of these people, they go on that guy's panel and they be on there lying. All on that motherfucking panel lying. Let's touch on the Canelo shit. Again, I told you motherfuckers on that panel for 4 months that, yeah, Canelo was good. He has great accomplishments. He has a good resume. Never one time did I deny any of that shit. But when it comes to actual boxing ability, he is one-dimensional. He is not as highly skilled as a Bivol, as a Crawford. And y'all know he ain't fucking with no Mayweather. And I told you motherfuckers that for 4 months. What was the response I got? Oh, you're a hater. You hate Mexicans. When I'm just saying factual shit about Canelo. That's not hating on no fucking Canelo. Because just because you're overrated or one-dimensional doesn't mean you're not good. It just means you're not that good. They were taking it like I was saying Canelo was a trash fighter. No, he's not a trash fighter. The dude's a Hall of Famer, first ballot. But if you watch him fight, he's very one-dimensional. You dig? Everybody knows that. But the Mexican fans be on that bullshit. So they took it like I was saying he was trash, even though they heard exactly what I was saying. Then the actual truth got exposed when he fought Terrence Crawford. He couldn't beat Terrence Crawford because he can't box on a high enough level to beat a guy like Terrence Crawford. If he was going to beat Terrence Crawford, it would have been because of Terrence Crawford not being able to deal with his power, not because he outboxed Terrence Crawford. Now, for those that want to know what the difference between backtracking and changing your mind, backtracking is where you feel a certain way and then you wait till after the shit happens and then you switch up. Changing your mind is where you think about it before the actual event happens and you change your mind prior to the event actually happening. You dig? Those are two different things. Now, I'll be honest with you guys. When the Canelo and Crawford fight was first announced, I thought it was a dumb fight. Why the fuck is a guy coming up from 147/154 to fight a guy at 168 and he's fighting the guy at 168? I thought it was a dumb matchup. There were more appropriate fights that could have took that place. That was what I thought. And then I thought Canelo was going to win based on having the experience of fighting bigger guys at 168 and being an all-around strong dude that can deal with bigger guys, pause, and the whole nine with being a strong puncher and all that. And Crawford never really dealt with that. He was fighting at lower weight classes, right, as we all know. So I picked Canelo to win literally based on that and that only. Never thought Canelo was a better boxer. I just thought he had the power, size, and weight advantage. Pause. So I said, I'm going to pick Canelo. This is when the fight was first announced, which I believe was back in May. Then time go by. It's like a little under a month left before the fight happens. Fight hasn't happened yet. I start thinking about the actual matchup instead of just focusing on the weight. Instead of thinking about the weight gap, I started thinking about the actual matchup. Crawford is the better boxer. If he can deal with Canelo's weight gap, he could probably beat this guy because he has the skills to do it. It's just that can he deal with that weight gap? So I started thinking like that. So fuck the weight gap. If he can deal with the weight, I can see Crawford winning. You know what? Crawford will win if he can deal with the weight gap. I did a video saying that, the whole nine. This is a month before the fight even happened. That's not backtracking. That's changing my mind. That's not backtracking. And that's what I did. So I picked Crawford after thinking Canelo would win simply because of the weight gap. And then everything I said was true. I know boxing. Crawford is a way more skilled fighter than Canelo. Anybody that thought Canelo was a better boxer than Crawford, you're just a biased Canelo fan that has blindfolds on. If you thought Canelo was a better boxer than Terrence Crawford. I don't know what the fuck is wrong with you. I understand you're Mexican and you want to represent your people, but you can still be honest. You can still be honest. And that's the problem I have with you Mexicans. Y'all not honest when it comes to this shit. Y'all way too biased. And not only are you motherfuckers biased, y'all don't keep that energy. What's that nigga saying he like to say? Y'all don't keep that same energy. Y'all fake with it. You dig? Now, your guy lost. Y'all saying this bullshit now. Oh, he cheated. The fight was fixed. I'm just going to write that off as y'all trolling because y'all can't be serious. You dig? But the guy says I don't know boxing, but yet I call this shit how to fight exactly I thought it was going to go as how it went. Crawford's the better boxer. If he can deal with that weight gap, he's beating this guy. And that's exactly what happened. That was a technical boxing dominance Terrence Crawford put on Canelo. And all you Canelo fans, instead of keeping it real and just copping to that, y'all want to lie. Y'all want to try to save face by saying the fight was closer than it looked, knowing damn well Canelo was getting his ass beamed up all night. But you want to say that bullshit. Y'all don't keep it real. Y'all biased. And y'all do that race shit. But then when y'all get confronted with that shit, y'all try to reverse psychology niggas and spin it on somebody else, knowing damn well you're a pro-Latino guy that's rooting for your people and you don't give a fuck about nobody else. Then you got suckers like the niggas on that IBFP panel that go along with that shit. Them bitch-ass niggas over there, they go along with that shit. You niggas ought to know better. That's the only reason why they like you clowns. Like the fat lame with the glasses that's claiming he's going to drive 6.5 hours to come fight me. That bitch-ass nigga. I'm not even going to say your name because, to be honest with you, you really ain't worth dissing. You just a fucking lame, bro. That's on your mama, too. So, not even, I'm going to dish you without even saying your name. And the other guy, the crack baby, that likes to get loud for whatever strange reason. Yelling on the fucking internet like you a fucking lame. So, like I said, you niggas is bootlickers, bruh. They only the Mexicans on that panel, they only tolerating you niggas because you niggas be over there bootlicking the Mexicans. It's the only reason why they like y'all. They want to dish y'all so bad. But since y'all won't get out of the line and keep it real, they tolerate you clown ass niggas. Exactly. They don't like me, which I don't give a fuck. Because I'm the only black motherfucker that ain't scared to oppose they bullshit. You niggas is scared. Y'all sit there and let them say that fuck ass shit and y'all don't even challenge that shit because you niggas is scared. And I ain't like that. So that's why them niggas don't like. But it don't matter if they don't like me though. Like, why would I give a fuck about that? But that's what's going on. And then like I said, the Mexicans is slick. They reverse psychology the situation. They get in front of it. They try to project the shit onto me. But if you listen to these motherfuckers talk, they be on that race fan shit. I'm not no race fan. I call that shit down the middle. You dig? If I was a racist that just did not like Latinos, why would I be a David Benavidez fan? I'm arguing with you motherfuckers about David Benavidez. Y'all don't like David Benavidez for dumb reasons. Y'all reasons for not like David Benavidez is dumb. Straight up. And we know what it is. It's bitch shit because y'all was scared he was going to beat y'all boy if they were to actually were to fight. Y'all was scared of that. So y'all didn't like him for that reason. That's bitch shit. How the fuck you scared for a boxer that he might lose? Like, what type of boxing fan is that? Like, what type of bitch ass shit is that? That ain't no real boxing fan. The fuck? You scared he's going to lose so you don't like the guy. Man, get the fuck out of here. Because that's all that is. Y'all was scared that Benavidez would beat the shit out of Canelo if they actually fought. So y'all don't like Benavidez. That's all it was. You dig? That's all it was. Because it don't even make sense to dislike Benavidez, like I've been telling y'all. You know what I'm saying? Then y'all be on some hoe ass shit. Y'all disrespected other fighters talking about, oh, well, he fought guys at a catch weight, but yet you're silent when it was revealed that Canelo also fought at multiple catch weights. You know criticism for that though, but you'll criticize when the black fighter did it. That ain't no race fan shit. Man, who the fuck is this talking on the live? Hamid? Okay, yeah, I know who that is. Salute Solidus. I will be going live next week. I need to talk about that Triple G Hall of Fame resume. If you telling me you got a panel and you're going to be going live, if I'm invited, I wouldn't mind showing up on there. So I'll be looking for that if what you're telling me is true. You said Tank doesn't have a better resume, though. Disagree. GGG beat better opponents without stipulations. Jacobs, Murata were good wins. Now, you in the minority, because everybody I know shitted on the Murata win. When he beat the Japanese dude, right? That's the fight before he fought Canelo. Danny Jacobs was that was a good win. That was a good win. The reason why I think Tank had a better resume is because Tank fought 5 guys that were notable, that were more popular than the guys that Triple G fought. Besides Danny J and Canelo, let me see, Murata. What, Macklin was a good win for Triple G? You probably would have to box wreck him. David Lemieux was a good one. David Lemieux was cool. That was cool, but I don't think those guys that Tank beat, David Lemieux was more popular than. Because again, this is how people in the YTBC critique boxers. They make a big deal out of resumes and the guys they fought. So I'm just keeping that same energy going off what they say. You dig? You know what I'm saying? Outside of Danny Jacobs and Canelo, Triple G's resume is light. Like I said, Tank fought 5 guys that were legit threats. Probably more than that. And people dismiss that because they don't like Tank. So I would argue Tank's resume is better. But Triple G, in my opinion, is a great fighter, and I would put him in the Hall of Fame. We can debate if he's first ballot, but he's definitely a Hall of Fame guy. You know, great fighter, had one of the best jabs. One of them clowns on that other panel, they lied on Triple G and said he didn't have a better jab than Canelo. Triple G has an all-time way better jab than Canelo, but them clowns on the other panel, you know what they're going to say. They're going to be on Canelo's dick. You know, even though the facts is Triple G's jab is better, but whatever. But nah, Triple G's resume is light, but I would still Hall of Fame. He displayed Hall of Fame talent. Makes sense. If that makes sense. You said, if I see your, I'm gonna check you out, and if your panel is real, I'll jump on there. You said we can chop it up next week. I would say Tank's best win is probably Pedraza or Santa Cruz. Yeah, those were some good wins. My personal favorite is the Frank Martin. I thought that was better because that Santa Cruz, that was the knockout of the decade, to be honest with you. That was, yeah, they fought during COVID. That was when COVID was going on when that fight happened. I remember that. That was knockout of the decade. He damn near killed Santa Cruz ass. But that was a knockout of the decade. That was a great win. Pedraza was a good win. But I like the Frank Martin win, though, because all that shit that was going on, he was a little rusty in that fight, but he still found a way to win, showing how good he is. I appreciate that. I even like the rolling. The way he rolled into that left hand, that was some high skill shit. But again, people don't like Tank because he didn't fight a certain fight or two. But they talk like he's a trash fighter, and that's where I mean, Tank is easily one of the most talented fighters in boxing, but people dismiss that because, oh, he didn't fight this guy, so fuck him. You know, whole ass shit like that. Nah, accomplishments and accolades is, again, it's important, but it's not the tell-all, end-all. You guys put too much stock in that. This boxing is a sport where you can be mediocre and accomplish a lot. The highest honor you can get as a boxer is being a pro. There's guys in the Hall of Fame that were, if you watch them fight, they were like C+, B- fighter at best. When you think about it, you would think only A-level fighters would be Hall of Fame. And people ain't fucking with me when I say that. It's not no disrespect. It's just the truth. Yeah, that shit's important, but it ain't the tell-all, end-all. It's back to Canelo. The guys on that panel for months. Canelo was good. He has great achievements and all that. Is first ballot Hall of Fame, undisputed super middleweight. I get all that. But if you watch the man fight, he is one-dimensional. There are better boxers than that. And those guys swore up and down I was hating and everything I was saying was facts. Now they can't even go back and say I was lying because this shit was proven. Crawford, now that's an A-level fighter. That's a highly skilled fighter. Canelo, good, but not highly skilled. That fight was literally proof. You know, I mean, I thought y'all been would have knew that about Canelo when he got by Bivol. You dig? But I guess y'all don't ain't like I said, man. Y'all just love Canelo guy too much. Like I said, I like Canelo too, but I ain't gonna sit here and lie. I'm not gonna sit here and lie. And I feel the same way about Deontay Wilder. Deontay Wilder had a right hand, he'll knock you the fuck out. But other than that, nigga, he couldn't box for real. I've been saying that. Nigga, I picked Tyson Fury to beat Deontay Wilder. That fight happened. Didn't give a fuck about that. I mean, I understand y'all want to do that race shit, but no, we gotta keep it real over here. Nigga, Tyson Fury is a way better boxer. He should beat Deontay Wilder if he don't get knocked out. Because he's black. Nah, we keep it real. We don't do all that. Y'all be doing that shit. See, the Mexicans, they gonna pick the Mexicans simply because he's Mexican. That's Mexican. I'll be doing that shit. I'm one of them clowns. I don't say Ryan Garcia was going to take over 147. Man, shut your bitch. He was Mexican. Fuck out of here, nigga. What skill set has Ryan Garcia showed you where he can take over 147? Fuck out of here. See, I don't do sucker shit like that. I call it down the middle. Same thing when Inoue fought. I thought Inoue would still be that. Call shit down the middle. We'll do that. Oh, I'm just gonna ride with you because we the same race. Mexicans do that. I'm gonna ride with you because we the same race shit. I don't do that shit. They the race fans. They on that bullshit, not me. I'm just tired of these motherfuckers putting that title on me when they're the ones that do the race shit. That shit is really irking me. I'm gonna have to train that shit. Agreed, definitely. GGG has a much better jab than Canelo. I would say Canelo was more than one-dimensional, but Canelo was limited. I would say Lemieux and Wilder is the definition of one-dimensional. I would say Canelo was one-dimensional also because Canelo, he can't beat you with his power. Fighters that Canelo has successfully defeated, if you look at it, are guys that are just going to try like brawl, like James Kirkland, guys like that. You did what I'm saying? He can beat guys like that. Just come forward and throw punches, no skill behind it. He can beat guys like that. But when he's fought guys that are like really skilled, that really know what they're doing, he either loses or it's controversy. That makes you one-dimensional, because if you're not one-dimensional, you would be able to adjust to what they're doing and win these fights or not get shut out. Every time he's like that, he got shut out. That's one-dimensional. Likewise with David Mew, and likewise with Deontay Wilder. Deontay Wilder, if he can't knock you out with that right hand, you can box that man's head off, as proven not only Tyson Fury, but Louis T. Cuban had he got knocked out while beating that fight. If you remember that fight. If not, YouTube, type it up, sit back and watch it. You know? So, and I will put Canelo in that same category. Like I said, Canelo is good. I would say Canelo was better than Wilder and Lemieux, if that makes sense. I would say that. Like, I like Canelo's career better than Wilder's career, me personally. But you put Canelo in there with highly skilled fighters that know what they're doing, he's getting his head boxed off. We've seen it happen to him when he was young, and we've seen it happen to him when he's a veteran. So, yes, one-dimensional. And the fights that he mostly did win, if you look at it, it was against guys that just simply couldn't deal with his power. You know what I mean? They couldn't deal with his power. He was real strong. He's backing them up. They get touched. They can't deal with it. And then he just beats them based off of that. But when it going and just outboxing nigga on some slick boxing shit, Canelo does not got skills like that. You dig? And this has been known since he was a young fighter. But Canelo fans on that bullshit want to push back on every damn thing. That's pretty much it. But yo, this is supposed to be a short video. But now I'm irked by that shit. Mexican fans, stop lying on me. Just keeping it real. Yeah, just stop lying on me, bro. But I gotta change my mind and stop upset about that, because that should be pissing me off. Motherfuckers lying and shit. Motherfuckers keep saying my name, solid as this, solid as that, lying on me and shit. None of that shit be true. I ain't feeling that. But I'm gonna let y'all go, man. I ain't mean to go on this long. It was 30 minutes. I was gonna do like a 10-minute video, but this shit turned into a 30-minute video. But fuck these lives though. People fuck with my playbacks. So I expect to see you motherfuckers there again. I'm out.